Good morning, children. Welcome back to the lesson The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, written by William Soroyan. Okay, I hope all of you have gone through the first session and we had a detailed introduction about the lesson. And let us make a quick recap of what we have already discussed in the first session. So children, it is all about two Armenian boys, Aram and Murad, who lived in a village in San Joaquin Valley in California, right? And both these young children, Aram of 9-year-old and Murad of 13-year-old, had great wish or desire to ride a horse. And one day Murad brought a horse to Aram, and Aram could not believe it because the entire Garoglanian tribe or the family was known for honesty. Okay, and immediately Murad invited Aram for a ride, and they could go around in the village with that. And also the introduction of their uncle Khusro. Okay, Uncle Kushro. And what is special about that fellow? That fellow is a very gigantic in figure with a large mustache and would stop everybody by telling his punch dialogue, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." One day, his own son came to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed, informing that the house was on fire. Immediately he roared, telling, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. Even when the barber said the son is telling something about fire, the same dialogue he uttered, that is, it is no harm. Okay, so children, let us continue. Yeah, we are at page number 3. Okay, page number 3, last paragraph. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Sorab, who was we already discussed who is Sorab, Murad's father, who was a practical and nothing else. That is how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his own flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. Sometimes, children, you will get much thing inherited from your uncle also. So distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. Dear children, you have two word meaning here. Mark the difficult word. One is vagrant, one is capricious. You can write down. Capricious means likely to suddenly change your ideas or behavior. Likely to suddenly change your ideas or behavior is called capricious, and suddenly changing the behavior. Okay, and another one, vagrant. What do you mean by vagrant? Someone who has no job and home and lives outside. Someone, I repeat, someone who has no job and home and lives outside, vagrant. Okay, we rode and my cousin Murad sang. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors we belonged, we let the horse run as long as it felt like running. Actually, both these children were enjoying a ride on the horse and making the horse to run as long as it could run. At last, my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." Actually, his cousin Murad wanted to ride it alone, and so he wanted to unseat Aram from the horse. "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. Actually, Aram also wanted to ride it alone. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down. The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse. So like his uncle, Murad has also a punch line, I have a way with. He will say, I have a way with dogs, I have a way with the horse, I have a way with farmers, same way, like that. Okay, right? And both started discussing about riding the horse alone. Well, I said, anyway, you have with a horse, I have also. For the sake of your safety, he said, let us hope so. Get down, all right, I said, but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone. On a condition that Murad should give the horse to Aram for a ride alone. He got down from the horse. I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, Wazir, run! That's a name given to him, given to the horse. The horse stood on its hind leg, back leg. Hind means back leg, snorted, made a sound, and burst into a fury of speed that was the loveliest. In a lovely way, the horse is taken. You can see the picture here, Murad on its back and giving the command to run. Okay, thing I had ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. In 5 minutes time, he is dripping wet. Perspiration is coming out, sweat is coming out of his body. The sun was coming up. That is the reason. Sun is also burning bright. That's why dripping wet. But now it is my turn to ride, I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Ride, he said. Okay, have a ride on it. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. Suddenly, when he was on the horseback, fear attacked him. The horse did not move. Actually, Aram did not know how to ride a horse. Kick into his muscle, my cousin Murad said. Okay, you try kicking the muscle. What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. Actually, Murad wanted to keep the horse back safe in a hiding place before all others wake up. I kicked into the muscle of the horse once. Again it reared means came little back and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Halabian. That is the name of a father, Vikram Halabian, where it began to leap over the vines. The horse leaped, means jumped, over 7 vines before I fell, then continued running. Actually, the author, the storyteller Aram, fell from the horse back and the horse continued its running. My cousin Murad came running down the road. I am not worried about you, he shouted. We have got to get that horse. You go this way and I will go this. You go this way and I will go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I will be near. Okay, that is the condition. So both of them started behind the horse to catch the horse. Okay, I continued down the road and my cousin Murad went across the field towards the irrigation ditch. It took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. So how much time is taken by Murad to catch the horse back? Half an hour. Okay, all right, he said, jump on. The whole world is awake now. What will we do? I said. Well, he said, we will either take him back or ride him until tomorrow morning. He didn't sound worried and I knew he would hide him and not take him back, not for a while at any rate. Okay, where will we hide him? I said. I know a place, he said. How long ago did you steal this horse? Again, Aram could not believe. And he is asking, how long ago did you steal this horse? I said. It suddenly happened on me that he had been taking this early morning ride for some time and had come for me this morning only because he knew how much I longed to ride. Actually, according to Aram, he might be using the horse for around a month, and today only he brought to him for a ride. Who said anything about stealing a horse? He said. Anyhow, I said, how long ago did you begin riding every morning? Okay, stealing you leave alone. How long have you been riding this horse for in the morning? No, until this morning, he said. Are you telling the truth? I said, of course not. He said, but if we are found out, that is what you are to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. See, the children got that quality in them. They do not want themselves to be called as a liar, one who tell lies. All you know is that we started riding this morning. Okay, if anybody asks what they should tell, they started using it that morning only. All right, I said. We walked the horse quietly to the barn. You know, barn is a place where grains are kept. Okay, the barn of a deserted means no more in use. No more in use vineyard, which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fetwagen. It's the name of a father, Fetwagen. There were some oats and dry alfalfa, a plant I think for the horse to eat in the barn. We began walking home. Actually, the children wanted to keep the horse back to that place. Where is the place? Deserted vineyard. Okay, and the barn of a desert vineyard belonged to a very famous farmer in the past, Mr. That Fetwagen. It wasn't easy, he said, to get the horse to behave so nicely. Now Murad is telling Aram how a horse can be taken for a ride. Okay. At first it wanted to run wild, but as I have told you, I have a way with the horse. I told you that is his style. I have a way with the horse. I can get it to want to do anything I want it to do. Horse understands me. Horse understands me. Okay, how do you do it? I said. I have an understanding with the horse, he said. Yes, but what sort of understanding? I said. A simple and honest one, he said. Well, I said, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding like that with a horse. Actually, Aram also wanted to learn how to make an understanding with the horse. You are still a small boy, according to Murad. Aram is still a boy, a small boy. Only difference is he is 9-year-old and Murad is 13-year-old, and he is senior. The way you behave to your junior in the dormitory. Okay, he said, when you get to be 13, you will know how to do it. Okay, I went home and ate a hearty breakfast, because that day breakfast turned to be very sweet, tasty for him, because his mind was happy. He was happy. That afternoon, my uncle Kushro came to our house for coffee and cigarette. So that's a style people spend time, spare time, sipping coffee and smoking cigarette. He sat in the parlor. Parlor means the drawing room where people sit, and sipping and smoking and remembering the old country. Actually, they were all immigrants. They were thrown out of their own country, so they are immigrants, and they are thinking about their old country and their pride. Then another visitor arrived. Who is that fellow? A farmer named John Barrow, an Assyrian who, out of loneliness, had learned to speak Armenian. Actually, Aram, Murad, and Uncle Kushro, they all belong to Armenia, whereas this another farmer who was an Assyrian, another different tribe. My mother brought the lonely visitor coffee and tobacco, and immediately what did the mother do? Yeah, mother brought coffee and tobacco and rolled a cigarette. That is a part of hospitality, you know. That's a part of hospitality to provide tobacco, coffee, and some eatables, etc. My white horse, which here you can underline and learn. My white horse, which has stolen last month, is still gone. I cannot understand it. Actually, that horse was stolen 1 month back. How did you come to know? Because this farmer John Barrow is complaining that he lost the cow, he lost his horse 1 month back, and still it is missing. My uncle Khusro became very irritated and shouted. Okay, I know, I have already told you he has a peculiar way of behaving. He would say, pay no, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. What is the loss of a horse? Haven't we all lost the homeland? Actually, they are the immigrants, and they had already lost their own homeland. What is this crying over a horse? Hey, don't keep yourself silent. Why are you crying for the horse? That is what his dialogue. That may be all right for you, a city dweller, one who lives. Dweller means one who lives in a place. Dweller, to say, John Barrow said, but what of my Surrey? What is good is a Surrey without a horse? Actually, Surrey is a word connected to horse, and what is the use of this Surrey without the horse? Like, what is the use of a helmet without a bike? When bike is stolen, what is the use of the helmet? The same way, the horse is stolen, what is the use of Surrey? Pay no attention to it. Immediately the answer came. Pay no attention to it. My uncle Khusro roared. I walked 10 miles to get here, John Barrow said. You have legs? My uncle Khusro again shouted. When the farmer said he walked for 10 miles without a horse, I lost my horse, he said. But for that again, uncle is shouting, hey, you have legs, pay no attention to it. Yeah, my left leg pains me, the farmer said. Actually, the farmer is facing some health problem. He's saying he has that pain in the left leg. Okay, pay no attention to it. Immediately the same dialogue, pay no attention to it, right? He got up. Then what else he said? My uncle Khusro roared, that horse cost me $60. So what is the cost of that lost horse? $60, the farmer said. I spit on money. My uncle Khusro, actually, according to Uncle Khusro, he doesn't mind much about money. He got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the house, slamming the screen door. My mother explained. He was a gentle heart. Actually, mother wanted to explain what is the problem with Uncle Khusro. Actually, Uncle Khusro had a gentle heart. She said, it is simply that he is homesick and such a large man. Actually, the problem is he is homesick. He lost his own homeland. That is why he behaves that way, angry way. The farmer went away, and I ran over to my cousin Murad's home. Actually, Aram happened to know that how the horse was stolen for around 1 month. So immediately, Aram wanted to go and meet his cousin Murad. Okay, I think we'll stop it here for the day. And children, what did you learn about this lesson today? So today it was a continuation of the story, and Murad and Aram both riding the horse for their fun, and Aram wanted to ride it alone, but Aram having no practice with riding a horse before, happened to fall from the horseback, and finally both the boys managed to get the horse under the control. By the by, they had a visitor. Who was that visitor? And finally they kept the horse back in the barn of a old farmer, Fetvajan, and came back to their own homes. And that evening, there came a guest. The guest was none but the farmer, John Barrow, an Assyrian, who out of loneliness wanted to spend time with the Armenian people, like Uncle Khusro and other people, right? And immediately mother brought some tobacco and cigarette for him. And while conversing, John Byro disclosed that he lost his horse for about a month. I mean, last month it was stolen and it was still missing. And for that, Uncle Kushro roared. And actually, that he was feeling very bad in the absence of the horse, and he had to walk around 10 miles. Okay, and actually that cost of the horse was $60. Okay, after that the boy Aram wanted to on coming to know about the real situation of the horse, he wanted to go to his cousin Murad. Okay, today we'll stop here, and dear children, make a thorough reading of the text and don't fail to write down the important question and answer and also the vocabulary. Thank you. Bye.